Hello, I'm Courtney. In this video we'll be configuring the Authonet firewall. As you may already know, any router, firewall or other device on the network can be a security weak point. The Authonet firewall mitigates this risk with a modern and easy to use web-based user interface, with an integrated tutorial system allowing easy setup and configuration. Once your unit's set up, open your browser and go to ulogin.net. If you don't know how to set up your unit, please watch the unboxing and setting up video. A link can be found in the description. The default username is admin, and the default password is password. Please remember to change your password once you're logged in. Once logged in, you'll be redirected to the Authonet Firewall overview page. Also, on your first login, the introduction tutorial will load automatically on the right-hand side. You can find more tutorials on the menu on the left-hand side, under Support. The first option in the menu is where you can change your user details. This is where you should change your username and password. Next is the dashboard. The dashboard shows vital information about devices connected to the firewall, and other useful information at a glance. Management is where you create devices, device groups and access rules. We'll get back into this in more detail later. The system logs basic activity within the unit for administrator review to track the real-time usage. Some logs allow filtering where appropriate to allow you to find information about certain access behavior. The log types are Authenticator history, which shows the login activity on the network, DNS history, which shows DNS requests and responses made on the network, linking to logged in devices as appropriate, admin history, which shows all logins or attempted logins by the admin, IDS events, which show all intrusion detection events, IPS events, which show all intrusion prevention events, and port forward events. Admin controls are options to control your admin account, such as logout or reboot. The settings menu has the basic and necessary submenus to set different settings within your network. Now we'll return to management. The device group can be considered as the parent for a collection of devices and access rules. On this page you can find all the device groups you've created and create a new device group. Clicking the Add New Device Group button will open up a pop-up screen with the device group settings. The device group settings are quite basic at this point and are essentially used to identify your new device group. The device group ID will be generated automatically for you. Device group name is the name you should use to identify your new device group. The description should be used to describe the device group in more detail, and enabled sets whether the device group is enabled or not. Each device group must have a unique name at minimum. A device is a representation of a single item on the network, such as a laptop, smartphone or tablet. It is identified by its MAC address. A device belongs to a device group to gain access to resources defined by the access rules in that device group. Click the Add New Device button to create a new device. The device settings allow you to specify identifying information about the device and some basic settings. These should be fairly self-explanatory. Device ID, this will be generated automatically for you. The name, which is the name used to identify your new device. The MAC address, which is simply the MAC address of this new device. Static IP, which is an optional static IP and reserves this IP address in the DHCP server for this device. Description should be used to describe the device in more details. And enabled, which sets whether the device is enabled or not. Each device must have a unique name and MAC address at minimum. An access rule is a collection of IP addresses and DNS entries. An access rule is added to a device group in order to control access permission for the devices in that device group. You can create multiple access rules as required. There are 3 default access rules within the system. These are blocked, which blocks access to a set of IPs and DNS entries under any circumstance. This overrides all other access rules. Allowed, which allows access to a set of IPs and DNS entries to everyone on the network, whether logged in or not. And public. This special access rule allows a device group to access the public internet. However, any IP or DNS entries contained within other access rules will override this. Click the Add New Access Rule button to create a new access rule. The access rule settings allow you to specify identifying information about the access rule. Again, these should be fairly self-explanatory. Access rule ID will be generated automatically for you. The name, which is the name you should use to identify your new access rule. Description, which should be used to describe the access rule in more detail. And enabled, which sets whether the access rule is enabled or not. An overview tree is also provided to show how your devices, device groups, and access rules are linked. If a device or access rule is not assigned to a device group, it will be shown under Unassigned. Important alerts about your unit or critical firmware upgrades will be shown in the bottom right of your page. Thank you for watching our Authonet firewall configuration video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact us through our website.